Have you ever stopped to ask yourself what it really takes to live a happy life? You're not alone. In a world constantly chasing goals, possessions, and people, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. We hear a lot about happiness, but very few talk about how to actually reach it without selling you a fantasy. Take a deep breath, because today we're cutting through the noise. No fluff. Just honest insight into what both modern psychology and ancient Stoic philosophy say about happiness. Spoiler, it's not in the big achievements, it's in the simple, overlooked moments. Laughing more, going outside, waking up early, and yes, turning off your phone once in a while. Stick around as we explore how both science and age-old wisdom are still guiding us toward a fulfilling life in today's world. But first, let me share a story to frame everything we're about to learn. There was once a young man named Mark who lived in a quiet valley. From the outside, his life looked perfect. He had all the material things he could want. But deep down, something felt missing. So Mark set out on a journey to uncover what happiness really meant. Along the way, he met a wise old man living in a small cabin on a hill. They spoke for hours, and eventually the old man shared 3 timeless principles for a happy life: gratitude, acceptance, love. At first, Mark was confused. It all sounded too simple. But the old man went on gratitude. He said, "Is where it begins. If you can't appreciate what you already have, nothing new will ever be enough. Acceptance is next. Life has highs and lows. The moment you stop trying to control everything, you'll start to feel peace, even in the chaos. And finally, love. Love what you do. Love those around you. And most importantly, love yourself. A heart filled with love can both give and receive happiness in abundance." Mark took this wisdom to heart. As he practiced gratitude, embraced life's changes, and opened himself to love, something changed. He stopped searching for happiness out there and realized it had been within him all along. His friends noticed. When they asked the secret behind his transformation, Mark simply smiled and said, "Happiness isn't a destination. It's a way of living. With gratitude, acceptance, and love, you already have everything you need." So, before we dive into the first lesson, if content like this inspires you, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Now, let's start simple with one small practice that makes a big impact. Laugh more. Think about it. How often do we take life way too seriously? It's like we're in some silent contest to see who can stress out the most. But laughter, it lightens the load. Ancient Stoics, despite their serious image, understood this too. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic minds, once said people are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them. In other words, your mindset shapes your experience. Laughter is one way to shift that mindset. It's not just about feeling good, it's a biological reset. It boosts endorphins and serotonin, lowers stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, and brings you back to balance. It may seem small, but laughter has powerful ripple effects. So, laugh a little, or a lot. It just might be the simplest and most underrated path to happiness. Laughter, the natural reset button. We all feel stress-tight shoulders, racing thoughts, sleepless nights. But what if there were a simple, powerful way to hit reset on your nervous system? That's exactly what laughter does. It lowers stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. It soothes the nervous system. It makes you feel more grounded and in control. It even improves sleep. Think of life like a roller coaster full of twists, dips, and moments that shake you to your core. Laughter. That's your safety harness. It doesn't stop the ride, but it makes it manageable and even fun. Research backs this up. Dr. Lee Burke from Loma Linda University found that just a few moments of genuine laughter can lower blood pressure, boost your immune system, and reduce stress hormone levels. This isn't just about feeling good in the moment, this is long-term health. But what if you don't feel like laughing? What if life feels too heavy, too serious? Here's where Stoicism comes in. The Stoics taught that we can't control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond. Choosing to laugh in tough situations isn't denial. It's resilience. It's you saying, "This won't break me." And here's the best part, even forced laughter works. In laughter yoga, cancer patients practicing regular laughter therapy reported feeling less depressed, more hopeful, and emotionally stronger. That tells you everything. If they could find light in the darkest moments, so can we. So how do you bring more laughter into your life? Start small. Laugh at your own silly mistakes. Laugh at the weirdness of life. Laugh at memes, even the bad ones. Watch comedy clips. Tell your friend the dumbest joke you know. The key isn't to wait for laughter, it's to invite it. When you laugh, you teach your brain to seek joy, not dwell on stress. Take traffic, for example. You're late, stuck, fuming. You can either stew in frustration, or you can laugh at the absurdity of it. Throw on a funny podcast and take back control of your energy. Laughter isn't about pretending everything's okay. It's about making space for joy even when things aren't. So next time life gets heavy, remember this: laughter is a tool, a skill, a habit, and one of the most powerful choices you can make for your mental and physical health. Get outside, reconnect with nature. Now let's talk about something just as powerful, something ancient, free, and always available: nature. Think about your daily routine. How much of it do you spend inside, glued to screens, surrounded by artificial light and filtered air? Modern life has boxed us in, but we weren't meant to live this way. For most of human history, we lived outside, in tune with the earth, connected to the cycles of sunrise, seasons, and soil. And the Stoics knew this. In fact, one of Stoicism's core teachings is to live in harmony with nature. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished." Nature moves at its own pace, and when we align with that rhythm, life feels more grounded, more balanced. But how do we reconnect with nature in a world designed to keep us inside? Start simple. Step outside, a 15-minute walk in a park, a few deep breaths by an open window. Sitting quietly under a tree. That's all it takes. Studies show even short exposure to green spaces significantly lowers cortisol, your stress hormone, boosts mood, and improves creativity. People living near parks report higher levels of happiness even if they never leave their neighborhood. You don't need a forest. You don't need a vacation. You just need a patch of sky and a few moments of stillness. In Japan, they call it forest bathing, a mindful practice of simply being in nature. It's been shown to lower blood pressure, improve immune function, and raise energy levels. But here's the secret: you can forest bathe anywhere. A tree-lined street, a quiet garden, even your balcony with plants and sunlight. When was the last time you felt the wind on your face? Heard birdsong, touched real earth with your hands? These small sensory moments recalibrate the mind and body. Nature reminds us that life is bigger than deadlines and notifications. Standing beneath a 200-year-old tree, your problems don't feel so overwhelming. That's perspective. That's healing. And the Stoics understood this deeply. Nature was their teacher. Its seasons showed them how to endure hardship. Its cycles taught patience. Its stillness showed the power of letting go. So if your life feels out of sync, don't overthink it. Just get outside, reconnect. Even 10 minutes a day can restore your balance. Because the truth is, happiness isn't hidden in some distant goal. It's waiting in a simple breath of fresh air, a good laugh, a walk under the sun. You don't have to chase joy. You just have to make space for it. Reconnect with nature. If there's a park nearby, make it a habit to take regular walks there. Living in a city, try to find a rooftop garden or a quiet green space where you can briefly escape the noise and rush. What matters is making this a daily ritual, something you truly look forward to. And the best part, the more time you spend in nature, the more you'll crave it. You'll begin to notice the small things, how sunlight dances through the leaves, the birdsong at dawn, or the soft texture of grass underfoot. These simple, quiet moments can bring peace and joy that's difficult to find elsewhere. Ultimately, nature isn't just a scenic background, it's essential to our mental and physical health. The Stoics understood this deeply, and now modern science agrees spending time in natural environments can reduce stress, lift your mood, and help restore balance in our hectic lives. So next time you're overwhelmed, the answer might be as easy as stepping outside and letting nature work its quiet magic. Become a morning person. Let's face it, mornings often get a bad rap. For many, the thought of an early alarm is enough to make us want to hide under the covers. Late nights filled with TV and scrolling have become the norm, making early starts feel unnatural. But here's the truth: becoming a morning person could be one of the best decisions for your health, happiness, and peace of mind. You might think, I'm just not a morning person, but this is more habit than biology. And once you make the shift, the rewards are real. The Stoics valued early rising as a path to purpose and discipline. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself at dawn that it was time to do what he was made for, to live as a human being. This mindset reframes mornings not as a burden, but as a powerful opportunity to start your day with intention. Research backs this up. Studies show that early risers tend to be more positive, less stressed, and enjoy greater life satisfaction. They even have lower risks of issues like obesity and depression. One major reason mornings matter is the gift of time. Waking before the world stirs gives you undistracted moments, no emails, no calls, no chaos. It's the perfect window for reflection, planning, or simply enjoying a quiet cup of coffee. Aligning your routine with your body's natural circadian rhythm also enhances sleep and energy. And no, you don't have to wake up at 4 a.m. Just start by shifting your schedule in small, manageable steps. Over time, this new rhythm will feel second nature. Use your mornings wisely, meditate, move your body, journal, or simply breathe. As Seneca said, the mind needs rest to return sharper and stronger. Having something to look forward to, even something small, can turn mornings into a time of quiet reward rather than resistance. Yes, it might feel tough at first, but stick with it. Eventually, you'll have more energy, feel more grounded, and reclaim time for the things that truly matter. Eposise1. To fill your days with purpose. Have you ever noticed how time can stretch or shrink depending on how you spend it? Empty, unstructured days often leave us feeling drained, while full, purposeful ones tend to be the most satisfying. It's not about cramming your calendar with tasks for the sake of staying busy. It's about creating a life filled with meaningful activities that align with your goals and values. The Stoics, especially Seneca, warned against wasting time. In On the Shortness of Life, he wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. To them, Time was a precious, non-renewable resource not to be taken lightly. So make it a habit to structure your days intentionally. Plan things that add value, whether that's learning, connecting, creating, or simply resting well. When you give your time purpose, you'll find yourself more fulfilled, focused, and in control of how your life unfolds. Pack your days with purpose. In today's fast-paced, distraction-heavy world, it's easy to feel overwhelmed or like time just slips through your fingers. But what if the solution isn't to slow down or do less, but to fill your time more intentionally? Let's clarify, packing your day doesn't mean stuffing every hour with chores or running on empty. It's about planning your time with purpose, including activities that bring you joy, promote growth, and nourish your mind, body, and relationships. It's about crafting a balance between structure and spontaneity. Think of time as a bank account. Every day, you get a fixed deposit 24 hours. You can waste it mindlessly, or you can invest it in what matters. The Stoics believed time was our most precious resource. As Seneca wrote in On the Shortness of Life, it's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Modern science agrees. Research in the Journal of Experimental Psychology shows that people who set goals and plan their days experience higher happiness and a stronger sense of control. Why? Because planning creates clarity and momentum. But this isn't about turning life into a rigid checklist. In fact, overplanning can lead to burnout. The goal is balance, leave room for downtime and spontaneous joy while still honoring your priorities. So how do you do that? Start with what matters most. What brings you joy? What have you been putting off? Whether it's spending time with loved ones, starting a creative project, exercising, or learning something new, make space for it. Chunk your day. Dedicate mornings to focused work, afternoons to creative or social tasks. Match your energy to your priorities. Set small, meaningful goals. Even modest wins like reading for 15 minutes, calling a friend, or getting outside can shift your mindset. Be adaptable. Not everything goes to plan, and that's okay. The Stoics remind us to control what we can and release what we can't. Marcus Aurelius captured this beautifully at day's first light. Have in readiness. The thought that I am rising for the work of a human being. When you start treating time as something sacred, not something to kill, you'll notice a transformation. Your days won't just pass. They'll mean something. Don't quit on what you love. How many times have you been tempted to give up on something you once loved just because it got hard? Maybe it was a hobby, a dream, a creative pursuit, or a career path that once lit you up inside. But then, life happened. Things got busy. Obstacles piled up. And quitting started to feel easier than continuing. But here's what quitting really means. It means turning your back on one of the most powerful sources of meaning and joy you have. The Stoics believed life would be full of setbacks. Hardships aren't exceptions, they're guarantees. And their answer was simple but powerful: persevere. It was Epictetus who said, "No great thing is created suddenly." Challenges are a sign that something matters. If it were effortless, it probably wouldn't be meaningful. Passion doesn't shield us from discomfort. It gives us a reason to endure it. So if you're standing at the edge of quitting something you love, pause. Ask yourself, is this just a hard chapter in a meaningful journey? Would I regret walking away? Am I giving up because it's hard or because it's no longer aligned with who I am? Not everything is worth continuing, but the things that are, they deserve your resilience. Sticking with what you love isn't about blind commitment. It's about honoring what lights you up. It's about trusting that progress takes time. And it's about choosing meaning even when the path gets rough. So don't quit too soon. Not on your goals, not on your growth, and certainly not on your why. Don't quit on what you love. The Stoics believed that the key to a fulfilling life wasn't in avoiding difficulty but in pushing through it. As Seneca once wrote, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, but because we do not dare that things are difficult." In other words, the things you love are worth fighting for even when they feel just out of reach. So why do we quit on them? Most of the time, it's discouragement. We hit rough patches. Progress feels slow, and in a world addicted to instant results, it's easy to feel like we're getting nowhere. But here's the truth: anything meaningful takes time, effort, and patience. The Stoics knew this. They believed the path to greatness isn't straight. It twists, it turns, it throws obstacles in your way. But that's exactly why it's worth it. Think back. Have you ever stuck with something even when it got hard? Learning an instrument, writing a book, training for a race? You probably wanted to quit at some point, but you didn't. And that persistence changed you. You grew. You gained resilience, discipline, and a deeper sense of self. Science backs this up. A study published in the Journal of Positive Psychology found that people who pursue passion-driven activities report higher well-being, lower stress, and a stronger sense of purpose. Why? Because doing what you love taps into something internal, intrinsic motivation. It's not about pleasing others or chasing a reward. It's about the joy of doing it for its own sake. Still, we often fall into the trap of thinking if it's hard, maybe it's not meant to be. But the Stoics would say the opposite. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. The obstacle isn't a stop sign, it's the path. The very thing that challenges you is what will strengthen you. So how do you keep going when things get tough? Reconnect with your why. Why did you start this journey in the first place? What excited you about it? When you reconnect with the joy, meaning, or curiosity that drew you in, it becomes easier to weather the hard parts. Detach from outcomes. Focus on effort. The Stoics taught us to focus on the process, not the result. You can't always control what comes of your work, but you can control whether or not you show up. Put in the effort. Trust that progress is happening even if it's invisible now. Think of it like planting a tree at first. Nothing appears above the surface. But underground, roots are growing strong. The same goes for your passions. Break it down. Take one step. When it feels overwhelming, simplify. Don't think about the entire mountain, just the next step. Write one page. Practice for 10 minutes. Finish one small task. Progress is built on small wins. Ask yourself, will I regret quitting? More often than not, the answer is yes. The things we love have a way of staying with us even when we walk away from them. The Stoics would argue that regret is worse than discomfort. Don't quit just because it's hard. Quit only when it's no longer true to you. And if you're lucky enough to have something you're passionate about, don't take it for granted. Not everyone has the opportunity to chase what they love. In the end, doing what you love is not just a hobby, it's a form of becoming. It's how you evolve, how you stretch, and how you build a life that feels deeply your own. So whatever it is, music, writing, coding, painting, running, teaching, building, don't give up. Even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, because every obstacle is an opportunity to grow. And every time you choose to continue, you get a little closer to who you were meant to be. Go for kindness. In a world that often feels rushed, stressed, and self-focused, kindness can seem like a forgotten virtue. We're so caught up in our own worries and deadlines that a kind word, a thoughtful gesture, or even a moment of human connection can feel rare. But here's the truth. Kindness is one of the most powerful tools we have, not just for helping others, but for transforming our own experience of life. The Stoics deeply understood this. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote, "Kindness is invincible, but only when it is sincere, without hypocrisy or faking." To Aurelius, kindness wasn't just a performance. It was a way of being, a sincere, courageous choice to meet the world with compassion. And the beautiful thing about kindness is this: no one can take it away from you. It's an inner strength, not a weakness. Why kindness matters. Kindness is contagious. When you hold the door open, offer a smile, give a compliment, or simply listen, you spark a ripple effect. Studies confirm this. Research from UCLA shows that witnessing or receiving kindness increases the likelihood that others will pay it forward. But the benefits don't stop there. People who engage in acts of kindness experience a boost in mood, report lower stress levels, enjoy better physical health, feel a greater sense of purpose and connection. Kindness isn't just good for the receiver, it's medicine for the giver. The Stoics would say this is because kindness aligns with our nature. As Epictetus wrote, "We are all brothers and sisters by nature. Our bodies and souls are bound together by a shared divine spark." Kindness isn't reserved for people we like or agree with. It's about honoring our shared humanity, treating every person with dignity, simply because they exist. How to practice kindness in daily life. It starts with awareness. We all have moments of stress, impatience, or distraction. In those moments, it's easy to react harshly or miss a chance to help. But if you can pause and ask, what does kindness look like here, you'll discover countless small opportunities. Let someone merge in traffic without reacting in anger. Say thank you with intention. Compliment a stranger. Send an encouraging message to a friend. Be patient with someone who's having a bad day. These acts take almost no time, but they carry immense emotional weight for you and for others. And here's the science again. Kindness triggers the release of oxytocin, the love hormone. It lowers blood pressure, eases stress, and builds feelings of warmth and trust. Over time, kindness becomes a habit, a way of living. Kindness weakness. Now, let's be clear, being kind doesn't mean being passive or letting people walk over you. The Stoics were strong advocates for boundaries and self-respect. Kindness, when sincere, comes from a place of strength. It's about choosing compassion without expecting anything in return. It's about acting with integrity and grace, regardless of how others behave. You don't need perfect conditions to be kind. You don't need someone to deserve it. You just need to choose it because it's within your control. As Seneca put it, wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. That means every interaction, every moment is a chance to make the world a little better. And in doing so, you make your own world better too. Choosing kindness doesn't just improve the lives of those around you, it enhances your own happiness and well-being. Every kind act you extend adds meaning, connection, and joy to your life. As you go through your day, remember every encounter is a chance to be kind. Whether it's with a friend, co-worker, or stranger, you have the ability to brighten someone's day and in doing so, enrich your own. As Marcus Aurelius once said, when you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love, and to be kind. Say yes. more often? How often do you automatically say no to opportunities that stretch you? Maybe you declined a party because it felt easier to stay home, or passed on a new project because it felt too challenging. While setting boundaries is important, saying no out of fear or habit can close the door on meaningful experiences. The Stoics didn't shy away from discomfort. They believed that growth comes from engaging fully with life, especially when it's unfamiliar. As Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Saying yes doesn't mean accepting everything blindly, it means staying open to possibilities. Growth rarely happens inside comfort zones. When you say yes, you give yourself the chance to learn, evolve, and feel truly alive. Think about the last time you said no because something felt a bit intimidating. What if you'd said yes instead? Maybe you would have met someone new, discovered a hobby, or just had a memorable experience. Saying yes creates opportunities that saying no never will. Scientifically, stepping outside your comfort zone releases dopamine, the brain's feel-good chemical, boosting happiness and motivation. So when you say yes, you're not only gaining experience but also enhancing your mental well-being. Of course, you don't need to say yes to everything, but if your default is no because it's easier, it might be time to reconsider. Many opportunities are fleeting. Saying yes invites growth, joy, and adventure into your life. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Look well into yourself. There is a source of strength that will always spring up if you will always look." Saying yes helps you tap into that inner strength and discover what you're capable of. It also strengthens relationships. Turning down time with friends or loved ones too often creates distance. Shared experiences build connection. Even saying yes to a casual hangout can lead to lasting memories or unexpected joy. At work or in personal growth, saying yes can mean tackling challenges that feel intimidating at first. But the Stoics embraced adversity as a path to strength. As Epictetus said, "Difficulties show men what they are." Trying and failing is still progress. What matters is the courage to try. Each yes builds confidence. The more you say yes, the more capable and resilient you become. Every new experience adds to your growth, and over time, you'll find yourself more open, adaptable, and empowered. In short, saying yes is about embracing life with curiosity and courage. The Stoics taught that to live fully, we must welcome both the known and unknown. So next time an opportunity comes your way, big or small, pause. Ask yourself, what could I gain from this? How might this help me grow? You may discover that one yes can lead to a richer, more fulfilling life. Turn off your phone. Sometimes in a world where we're constantly connected, turning off your phone can feel like a radical act, but it's also one of the most powerful ways to reclaim your time, focus, and well-being. While the Stoics didn't have smartphones, they deeply understood the value of being fully present. Seneca once said, "He who is everywhere is nowhere," reminding us that divided attention keeps us from experiencing anything fully. When we're glued to our phones, we miss out on meaningful conversations, moments of peace, and the richness of simply being in the now. So why is it so difficult to disconnect? For many, phones offer comfort, entertainment, even validation. But that constant need to check for updates and fill every quiet moment can lead to anxiety, stress, and burnout. Studies have even linked excessive phone use with sleep problems, depression, and increased anxiety. The solution is simple, though not always easy: turn it off. Even short breaks from your phone create space for clarity, creativity, and calm. It's not about rejecting technology, it's about being in control of how and when you use it. The Stoics taught that we should master what's within our power, and that includes our attention. Start small. Turn your phone off during meals, family time, or the hour before bed. Schedule phone-free breaks during the day, even just 15 minutes, and use that time to go for a walk, read, or simply sit with your thoughts. These quiet moments are exactly what the Stoics praise time for reflection, solitude, and peace. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Disconnecting also strengthens your relationships. Being fully present with someone without glancing at your screen sends a powerful message: you matter. Research confirms that even having a phone visible during a conversation can make interactions feel less meaningful. By removing that distraction, you build deeper, more authentic connections, and it doesn't stop there. Turning off your phone improves productivity. Multitasking, like checking notifications while working, hurts your focus. Each time you switch tasks, your brain has to reorient, which wastes time and lowers work quality. But when you give your full attention to one thing, you get better results and feel more accomplished. Don't forget sleep, either. Screen time before bed disrupts melatonin production and keeps your brain active when it should be winding down. Simply turning your phone off 30-60 minutes before sleep can lead to deeper, more restful rest. In the end, disconnecting from your phone, even briefly, is one of the simplest ways to feel more grounded, productive, and peaceful. The Stoics valued presence, discipline, and intentional living. Turning off your phone supports all three. It's not about abandoning technology, but using it with awareness and purpose. So next time you feel overwhelmed or distracted, pause, breathe, power off your phone, and reconnect with the life unfolding right in front of you. Take breaks and go on trips. In today's hustle culture, many of us have become so focused on productivity and deadlines that we forget a crucial truth. Rest is not a luxury. It's a necessity. Whether it's a short break during your day or a full vacation, stepping away from your routine is essential for mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. Despite their reputation for endurance, the Stoics deeply valued rest and renewal. Seneca often wrote about the Roman concept of otium, a kind of peaceful leisure that allowed for reflection and joy. He reminded us, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future. Yet, modern life has made rest feel like slacking. We're conditioned to believe that every pause is wasted time. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Rest isn't the opposite of productivity, it fuels it. When you give your brain and body a break, you return to your work more focused, creative, and efficient. Let's start with something simple: daily breaks. Research shows that after about 90 minutes of focused work, our cognitive performance begins to decline. A short pause, just 5 or 10 minutes, can reset your mind, improve concentration, and boost your mood. This is especially powerful if you move your body, stretching, walking, or simply getting fresh air. Even a moment of silence and deep breathing can make a difference. The Stoics would agree. Mindful awareness of your body's needs is part of living in balance. And beyond daily rest, longer breaks like vacations are just as vital. Vacations aren't just indulgent escapes, they're essential resets, whether it's a weekend road trip or a longer getaway. Time away from your regular environment allows your mind to fully disconnect and recharge. It gives you fresh perspective, creative insights, and renewed energy. Studies show vacations reduce stress, improve mood, and make us more productive when we return, as the Journal of Happiness Studies reports. People who take regular vacations experience higher life satisfaction not just during the trip, but long after. It's not about running away from problems, The Stoics would say it's about returning to life with renewed clarity and strength. Even Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor with immense responsibilities, took time for solitude and reflection in nature. He knew these moments weren't a retreat from duty. They were preparation to return to duty with greater focus. So what does this mean for you? It means rest is not a sign of weakness or laziness. It's a conscious, wise act of self-preservation. If you've been feeling overwhelmed or burned out, give yourself permission to pause. You don't need to wait for a breakdown to justify a break. Start small. Schedule micro breaks throughout your workday. Step away from your screen. Stretch. Breathe deeply. Once in a while, plan a real getaway, even if it's close to home. You don't need an expensive vacation. A change of scenery, even a walk in a nearby park, can help reset your nervous system. The point is to unplug from the noise and reconnect with yourself and your surroundings. In addition to the restorative power of rest, travel also expands your mind. Experiencing new cultures, ideas, and perspectives is part of the Stoic path to wisdom. As you explore the world, you grow not just as a traveler but as a human being. Not everyone can afford frequent vacations, and that's okay. It's not the length or distance that matters, it's the intentionality. A mindful 10-minute break can be more refreshing than a distracted week-long holiday. In conclusion, the Stoics taught that balance, presence, and self-awareness are essential to a good life. Taking breaks and yes, even planning trips are not selfish acts. They're vital to your growth, health, and ability to show up fully in your life. So the next time you feel overwhelmed or spread too thin, remember, rest isn't quitting, it's preparing.